Hello, this is Mr. Wiersma. This is my first presentation using Screencast-O-Matic and doing a PowerPoint on cellular respiration. And I hope it goes well, and I hope you learn a lot. So here we go. What is cell respiration? Cell respiration is breaking down food for energy in the form of ATP. As you see in the picture, there's a nice white-tailed buck, and the white-tailed buck is what's called a heterotroph. So unlike plants and some bacteria, they cannot use the sun to do photosynthesis. They have to eat food. So cell respiration is a process by which the food we eat is broken down to get usable energy. Okay, in this slide, I have the chemical equation for cellular respiration. As you can see, it's glucose plus oxygen yields, using enzyme, carbon dioxide, water, and usable energy in the form of ATP. What you may notice is that this is the exact opposite of photosynthesis. The glucose is made in photosynthesis and used in cell respiration, as well as the oxygen. And you might also notice that carbon dioxide is used in photosynthesis but produced in cellular respiration. There are two kinds of cell respiration. They are aerobic, which requires oxygen, and anaerobic, which do not require oxygen. And both types are needed to get all the energy you can from glucose. Now, as you obviously know, glucose is not the only kind of food broken down for energy. One can also break down fats and also proteins, but only as a last resort for the proteins. Your body prefers to break down the carbohydrates and fats instead. Okay, the first step to breaking down glucose for energy is called glycolysis. Glycolysis literally means glucose splitting, and it basically splits right in half. Glycolysis is anaerobic, which means, again, it does not take oxygen, and it occurs in the cytoplasm of your cells, and it only produces 2 ATPs. As we'll find out at the end, we will get much more ATPs than 2. So glycolysis is just the very, very first step. And the next slide will show you the subsequent steps of cellular respiration. This slide is showing you a diagram of the process of glycolysis, which again is anaerobic and occurs in the cytoplasm and is the first step to breaking down glucose in the process of cellular respiration. Glycolysis, as if you look in the green section of this diagram, again, the breaking down of glucose, but at the beginning, 2 ATPs are used up to kind of kickstart the reaction and get it going, just like you kickstart a motorcycle to get that going. The blue section is showing that you get 2 molecules of NADH produced and 4 molecules of ATP because you combine left and right side. And so you end up getting 2 molecules of pyruvate at the end, 2 molecules of ATP total because you used 2 up at the beginning, and you get 2 molecules of NADH. You may be wondering what NADH is. If you remember from the previous section on photosynthesis, NADH is an electron carrier that temporarily stores the energy and then later on will be used to make ATP. But NADH, again, is very similar to what we learned in photosynthesis. It's an electron carrier that stores energy. Keep in mind again that this is anaerobic, occurs in the cytoplasm, and you end up getting 2 molecules of pyruvate, which have 3 carbons. The three round circles there in orange, and you start with the 6 carbons in glucose. So you basically, again, split glucose right in half. This is glycolysis. The second step of cellular respiration is called the Krebs cycle, and this one occurs in the matrix of the mitochondrion. What the matrix is, if you look at the picture of the mitochondrion, it is the material, the space inside of that inner membrane. And again, that is where the Krebs cycle occurs. It does require oxygen, so it is considered aerobic. And the goal of the Krebs cycle is to take the 2 pyruvates, remember 2 of them, from the Krebs cycle, and basically use those to produce these electron carriers that store the energy called NADH and FADH2. And then those later on will be used we'll see, to make ATP at the end of cellular respiration. But this is the Krebs cycle, also called the citric acid cycle. The last step to breaking down glucose or the third step is called electron transport chain, or ETC for short. It is also aerobic, just like the Krebs cycle, and it occurs in the inner membrane of the mitochondrion. As you can see from the diagram, you have the matrix, which is where the Krebs cycle occurs, and the ETC is occurring right in that membrane. And what the ETC does is it takes the FADH2s and NADHs made in the Krebs cycle and converts them into ATPs using the hydrogen pumps and the ATP synthase, as we learned in photosynthesis. And if you look, water is coming out of this reaction and oxygen is going in. So the job of electron transport chain, again, is to convert the NADHs and FADH2s made in the previous steps into ATPs. All three steps combined, the glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain, are called cellular respiration, and the goal again is to take the energy from the food and convert it into ATPs, which is a more usable form. Thank you.